town of Mosley lies at the foot of the Pennine Hills. The name, being Saxon in origin, is derived from the words "mies," meaning moss, and "lees," a field or enclosure overgrown with moss. It is a town built on both sides of a wide valley. As the size and population increased to over 13,000 in 1881, so did the number of churches, the majority being built around the mid to late 1800s. Today there are 7 churches in the town, representing all the major denominations. Whit Friday in Mosley is a tradition strongly upheld, and you could be forgiven for thinking that you had stepped back in time for the 7 churches. Abney, All Saints, Methodist, St. George's, St. John's, St. Joseph's and the Unitarians all hold a united procession which takes place on the Friday after Whit Sunday, the feast of the Pentecost. The bands play and there is a service held in the market ground, followed by a procession around Mosley. The first Whitsuntide walks in Mosley were around 1834. Whitsuntide was traditionally a great week when new clothes were the order of the day. Working families usually managed some new clothes for the walks, but often they were more suitable for winter. Silks and cottons did not get enough wear. The procession today not only includes the Sunday school children, but also scouts, benchers, cubs, beavers, guides, rollers and rainbows, as part of the congregation and walk with their church. The Rose Queen and her attendants were originally chosen from girls who had good attendance at Sunday school. Whilst enjoying the atmosphere of the procession, one can also enjoy the views. Booking around Mosley, we can see clues as to Mosley's history, from cottages built of local stone to 3-storey houses built to enable woolen cloth to be manufactured in the attics. Mosley is reputed to have more listed buildings than anywhere else in Tameside. The arrival of the railway in 1849 was a major change. The procession winds its way along Manchester Road past the railway station, after which the procession divides with the congregations returning to their respective churches. The traditional Whit Friday Committee was formed in 1968, and they work throughout the year to raise funds for all the expenses incurred by the procession. Hartshead Pike can be seen on the Mosley landscape. Standing at less than 1,000 feet above sea level, it is the position of the hill that allows it to be seen from great distances. The present pike was built in 1863 as part of the celebration to mark the marriage of the Prince of Wales, later to become King Edward VII. From Mosley, we can look across the valley. The old village of Carbrook lies at the foot of Buckton Hill. Carbrook is named after the stream which flows down to the River Tame. In 1866, the village was developed alongside the calico printing works known as Garsangs. The village comprised of around 100 properties. In 1897, Buckton Bell Institute was built. Next to the institute was a bowling green within a small park. Over time, the bowling green became neglected and overgrown. In 1988, the Friends of Carbrook were formed. Through various fundraising events, donations, and a great deal of hard work, the bowling green has been restored to its former glory. The Friends of Carbrook's next aim is to build a pavilion. The bowling club is now self-funding, and the upkeep of the green and park is carried out by volunteers, enabling people to spend a restful afternoon watching or playing bowls. All the way down. All the way down. Carbrook's first band contest was held in 1981. It is now an event that is enjoyed and supported by the local community. In former days, bands traditionally played for the church's walks of witness, stayed all day to play on the sports fields, and had the local band contest in the evening. The tradition of the band contests is currently regaining popularity, with contests being held in Mosley, Micklehurst, Stalybridge, Herod, Millbrook and Carbrook. The first recorded contest in Stalybridge was held on August the 27th, 1870. The first one in Mosley was on May the 29th, 1896. It was held outside the Railway Inn, now known as the Bedstock Brats. For many years, famous bands Black Dyke, Brighouse and Rastrick, and Black Hole Colliery, along with local bands, played to entertain local people with the chance of winning a prize at each contest. The contest begins around 5:30 in the evening and ends between 10 and 11 o'clock. It costs around £1,000 a year to stage the event, money being raised by fundraising, donations and a monthly quiz night. Castle Clough, the site of Carbrook's band contest, is now part of the Stalybridge Country Park. Scared Green is located just off Manchester Road on the west side of Mosley. It is here that we join Tameside's Countryside Wardens, who organise and run numerous events at various sites in Tameside throughout the year. Here on the Huddersfield Canal, the general public can come and try canoeing on selected days with expert supervision close by. You are guaranteed to have fun. The local Countryside Warden Service is based at Old Gates Visitor Centre in Millbrook, on the edge of Walker Wood, which is part of Stalybridge Country Park. There are 5 full-time wardens and over 50 volunteers running events like canoeing and rambling, most of which are free, but donations towards conservation work within Countryside are gratefully received. The Huddersfield Canal is the third and shortest of the Trans-Pennine routes and was opened in 1811. Along its length it has 74 locks, and the demand of the mill owners for water necessitated the construction of 10 reservoirs. It is also the highest canal at 656 feet above sea level, travelling through the Stanage Tunnel, which is the longest on the British waterways at 3¼ miles long. The 1830s saw a peak of canal prosperity when barges transported wool, timber, corn and lime. The only drawback was in the winter, when the canals froze over. After this, it was seriously threatened by the railway competition, and the canal company sold out to the forerunner of the Great Central Railway Company in 1846. This company continued successfully to maintain and operate the canals for many years. Later on, as traffic on the canal declined, the branches began to decay, and by 1962 it was unnavigable. In 1974, a small number of canal enthusiasts formed the Huddersfield Canal Society with the aim of restoring the canal to a navigable waterway. Over 50 of the canal's 74 locks have now been rebuilt, and 2/3 of the canal has been dredged to navigable standards. Major obstacles are being tackled, and there are high hopes of full restoration by the turn of the century. At the eastern side of this stretch of the canal is Roach's Lock, another beautiful part of Mosley's countryside, which is a very popular spot for a quiet day's fishing. On our journey from Mosley to Stalybridge, we arrive at Herod. The houses that you can see here on Wakefield Road were once overshadowed by 2 huge cooling towers from the Hartshead Power Station. One of these towers was only 100 yards or so away from the houses, a massive structure of reinforced concrete 270 feet high. It was in 1989 that demolition work began. The 2 chimneys were demolished first, followed by the cooling towers a few weeks later. 2,500 holes were drilled at the base of each tower and packed with 60 pounds of gelignite. As part of the National Grid substation was only 50 feet away, the supporting struts and base rim had to be wrapped in corrugated steel in order to contain the debris from the grids. Like when long explosions hit, and hundreds of people gathered to watch the landmarks disappear. Everything went as planned, and 6,700 tons of concrete came down to earth in a matter of seconds. Our next visit is to Stamford Park, with the first stop being the Vaulting Lake, which was opened in 1894. It had taken 2 years to develop, with the island being planted with trees and shrubs. It also had an elaborate fountain. Another attraction was a steam lodge called the Sunflower, which must have drawn the crowds, as the Stamford Bell does today, for the receipts of the Bolting Lake was £610 in 1903. Stamford Park itself was officially opened by the Earl of Stamford and Warrington on the 12th of July 1873. The park contains much to interest the visitors. Among the most popular features are the young children, playing, paddling pool, and also a trip on the train. Stamford Park covers an area of 67 acres, being partly situated in Stalybridge and Ashton. Its attractions include ornamental gardens, bowling greens, tennis courts, the Wooded Glen, and the John Neild Conservatory, which was opened in 1907 and has since been restored. During the summer, other attractions include Punch and Judy, bouncy castles, steel buns, brass bands, and the marching band seen here. The park contains several monuments and other links with the past. Highfield House, originally a residence of the Earl of Stamford, was used as a museum, tea room, and boardroom, but unfortunately had to be demolished in 1955. Other things you can see around the park include the old stocks which used to stand outside the workhouse and prison in Ashton, and 2 large boulders. The larger one weighs over 3 tons, both of which were unearthed in Stalybridge, and the old cross dated 1793, which, on inspection, can be found pitted with bullet holes. St. John's Brass Band can be seen here playing to the crowds in the park, providing us with the ideal opportunity of showing clips of Mosley as winners of the 1995 Best Newcomers Award in the Britain in Bloom competition. They also came second in the Best Small Town section. Part of the judges' criteria was the involvement of local community spirit, helped by churches, schools, shopkeepers, and the probation service. Mosley was certainly shown off to its best. thought of what, you know? I don't think whatever. Anything else than that drop water spread. Right there, you ain't my Stalybridge Carnival is an annual event taking place on the fourth Sunday in June. In 1976, at a meeting of Tameside Youth and Community, it was declared, "Nothing ever happens in Stalybridge." It was this phrase that prompted the formation of Stalybridge Festival. It was originally a full week of different events, including the carnival. The carnival is the one event that has continued and is organised by the members of Stalybridge Festival Committee, all of whom are volunteers. The organisation of the carnival is ongoing. It is held for the people in Stalybridge, with money raised going to local charities and organisations. The money is presented at the annual dinner dance in December. The procession passes in sight of the old town hall, where an impressive stone building once stood. The public hall had seating for 800 people. The town hall was destroyed by fire some years after it had closed. Tameside Leisure Services, Greater Manchester Police, St John's Ambulance, the Carnival Parade Marshals, Cheetham's Park staff and the Festival Committee all helped to make the carnival a great success. The parade also passes the Market Hall, a brick building with stone features and the clock tower, built from the designs by A. Mosley. The market was built at a cost of almost £10,000, more than 100 years ago. The procession, brightly coloured floats, dancing troops and carnival queens and their retinues continues to wind their way through the streets of Stalybridge. Cheetham's Park marks the end of the parade, but it is here that the fun continues with more entertainment including the fair, bouncy castles, trampolines and climbing ceremonies. Cheetham's Park is so named after John Frederick Cheetham, who left his home, Eastwood House, and its extensive grounds to the people of Stalybridge. Mr. Cheetham's niece opened the park in 1932. It was decided to keep the park as natural as possible with playing fields and woodland walks. The Eastwood Bird Reserve adjoins the park. A focal point in Stalybridge is the public library, which also includes a local study section, above which is the Asler Cheetham Art Gallery. The whole building was a gift from John Frederick Cheetham, who was the local mill owner. The art gallery is housed in what was once a lecture hall. In 1932 it was designed to establish an art gallery, following a bequeathal of 63 paintings from the Cheetham's family. The gallery now has a year-long programme of various exhibitions featuring paintings, sculptures and work from local schools and colleges. The exhibition filmed here is all work by Thamesline's amateur and professional artists. Melbourne Street was the site of a great flood in May 1906. Today it is the large variety of shops that attract attention. Stalybridge and Moseley are both twinned with towns in France, Moseley with Hem and Stalybridge with Armentières, thus the name of the square in the centre of Stalybridge. The name Stalybridge is made up of two words, Staley being derived from the Old English stay flea, meaning wood where staves were collected, and bridge being the old bridge where Stamford Street crosses the River Tame, originally connecting the counties of Lancaster and Cheshire. We hope that you have enjoyed our visit to Stalybridge of Moseley, in which we have shown a brief insight into the history, amenities, annual events and hidden beauty of the area.